Well, howdy, 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 nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, a brand new day in which I'm very tired. Of course, pain-related insomnia. Thumbs up. Been awake since about 4 a.m. Stayed in bed until as close to 6 as I could get. Been in here since it is 7:34, so it's been an hour and a half. Thumbs up. Waking up time. Excuse me. All of my hamsters are sleeping at the moment, so no hamsters, but this, I'm wearing one of my shirts that a very kind subscriber slash contributor slash commenter said, you know, my hamster thinks I'm cool. So it's a cool shirt. I like it. And it is, I don't know if it's going to be a bright sunny day. I mean, the sun has been up since, well, I mean, it's been light outside since like 5:30. And it's bright outside, but I can't tell if there's sun, cloud, or anything yet. So we shall see. If I can't tell, then that means there's probably cloud cover at 7:30 by this time. So it's probably at least a cloudy-ish day. But that's okay. Hey, hey. And so I've got to get my walkies in tonight. I did not go walkies last night. I almost feel bad about that. Almost. Nearly feel bad about that. Let's see if I can... I like symmetry, and it just drives me nuts when things are asymmetric. So, and since I got this divot in my neck there, so I just use that to balance it by bringing it down into against the bones of, what is that, the collarbone? So it used to be like years ago, just poking in that, I'd feel sick and I'd gag. Now I can go like that, and it doesn't bother me. So there's changes that their body makes. That's a good thing. But as stated, last night I did not go walkies. I just stayed in. So I was nice and healthy, especially since I polished off. I'm embarrassed about this one. I polished off like a sleeve of Oreo cookies as my primary meal during the entire day yesterday. They were store brand because I can't actually afford real brand things. So it was store brand. They call them tuxedos, but they're Oreos, which of course is a ripoff of Hydrox because Hydrox came out first, but everyone thinks that Hydrox is a ripoff of Oreos, but no, Hydrox came first. And so they're just store brand, and I ate a whole bunch of those. So I was nice and healthy. Yeah, here I am worried about cardiovascular disease, knowing that sugar is one of the leading causes of cardiovascular disease. And what do? I eat a sleeve of sugar-packed cookies. Thumbs up. I do pretty good at avoiding sugar, but every once in a while, because, oh, itchy, because I am a human being and I am an animal that craves sugar, fats, and salts, occasionally I get sugar cravings, especially since as a recovering alcoholics really have to fight sugar cravings because, of course, when you drink, alcohol gets quickly converted straight into sugars. And so that's why you bloat up if you drink beer along with other things, other big reasons. Because if your tummy bloats up while you're drinking, that's a CDs. That's your blood vessels are backing up. Things are not, your heart can't pump the blood out fast enough, so it's bogging down in your system. And when things bog down in your system, everything clogs up out that way. And so if the blood can't just get into your heart, into the rest of your system, it backs up. One of the places that fluid backs up, there is a membranous lining in your abdomen. And if things back up, this membranous lining in your abdomen gathers fluid. And when it does so, your belly can go from, you can be malnourished and empty and look like you've swallowed a basketball. And it's not even from famine, or starvation, it's because that membranous lining is so swollen with fluid because your system isn't working well. It's terrifying. It's amazing how well your body can last, and it's a testimony to, what? It's not even, it's the testimony to survival. I was going to say a testimony to evolution, but that doesn't even make sense. There's no design to that. So it's just a testimony to our bodies, because our bodies are amazing. Because especially since once stuff starts backing up, one of the other places that things back up is on the inside of your throat. All of the blood vessels bloat up because the blood can't flow. That's why one of the big threats for alcoholics is a ruptured artery in your throat where you bleed out from that. Big danger for late stage alcoholics. Thumbs up. Yeah, so if you're with somebody who really likes to drink and they've got a swollen belly and suddenly they start vomiting blood, bright arterial blood, then say goodbye quick. Yeah, our bodies are amazing at staying alive, but they can only take so much. Which I was reading on a thing. It's like our bodies really are amazing. Sure, a lot of animals out in the wild can survive things like broken bones. We find evidence of broken bones on animals all the time. But apparently, in a lot of cases, because it's out in the wild, and if you break a leg, what are you going to do? You can't run to go eat. You're going to die. But also shock. Shock hits most animals a lot harder than it hits us. We survive stuff that's amazing. We can fall out of airplanes. How many? I have seen videos of people that their chutes didn't open, and while they didn't hit at total terminal velocity, when they hit, it was, you would expect that they were going to be dead. And there's so many people that have fallen thousands of feet out of aircraft and survived. Our bodies are amazing. And especially this whole, we are pursuit predators. And that's amazing too. We are built for endurance. And most creatures in the world are not. That's just, we can drive, like if you, just by walking, tracking elk. Just by walking, if you know how to track, if you can track like a herd of elk, you will eventually, just by walking after them and tracking them and not stopping. Oh, excuse me. You will eventually drive them into exhaustion and they will start to die. Just because you're following them. Constantly making them run, because we can keep going for frickin' ever. That's why we've got so many endurance runners. That's why we've got people who do stupid things like, there was a person I read about, well, not read about, watched a video, well, I think it was one of these top 10s Today I Learned things. Oh no, it was a not a Deer Blocko, but I can't remember what the name of the video series is, but it's an animated thing and the character's name is Blocko and he answers questions. But there was a person who ran like 200 kilometers in a 24-hour period. And that's insane, but we can do that with our bodies, even though once you hit like the 50-kilometer mark, your body really starts to fall apart. And in fact, just by running for that far, for that long, huge risk of death. Your liver, your kidneys, your body starts to shut down. And yet, she did it and survived. And of course, one of the more wonderful things about our bodies is, if your body can survive something, it doesn't matter how beat up and smashed it is. If your body can survive something, it can chug on forever after that. One of the big, more terrifying things, back in the World War II, there were the Gurkhas. Oh, terrifying, terrifying warriors. Watched a video about this one fellow who was a Gurkha. World War II, fighting against Japanese soldiers. It's like after he had killed like 50 Japanese soldiers, after a grenade blew up in his hand and took his arm off, after that, that's when he got started. And he killed at least 50 more and took out machine gun nests. I think he was even stabbing people with the bones of his exploded arm to kill them. And after the war, he lived with his, blown off arm, all the injuries he had healed up, and he lived like to his 80s or 90s. You can heal from terrifying stuff and survive forever. Our bodies are amazing. Testimony to survival. Which, of course, this big thing about survival of the fittest. This one is, a lot of people have been talking about this one online, and it's like the big misunderstanding, like with scientific theory, going, oh, it's just a theory. Theory means it's been tested to death and it stands up as a good thing. It doesn't mean, oh, this is just a guess. Survival of the fittest doesn't mean the biggest and the strongest. Survival of the fittest just means adapting to an environment. You are the most fit to that environment. The species could be sickly and even falling over and occasionally dying just for no good reason. But if they're more suited to that environment so that their children actually live longer, then they are more fit. Even as they fall over dead from illness and disease, because they're more weak and sickly, but they're more fit for that environment. So, yay. Goodness gracious. I'm just rambling. I'm very tired. Sleep-related insomnia. Pain-related insomnia, so my apologies. So, one person did have a good idea, though, in the comments. When I'm saying, how do I find time to do this, that, and the other, is like, well, incorporate, like I did yesterday, not going walkies, incorporate that into my routine. So have one night go out walkies, and then the next night, write. So really, I ought to do that, because I've got so much stuff I got to get done, so much stuff I've got to get written. I've got books upon books. I've forgotten more than I can ever remember. I just need to get the stuff written, especially since I've got more stuff happening all the time. So, thumbs up. I mean, again, I'm never going to write anything deep and intense. It's not going to be one of those books that makes you sit back and ruminate on the human condition. You know, in fact, about the best ruminations that you'll have after reading one of my stories is, was that 102 or 103 people that were eaten? Huh, I can't remember. A lot of people died. A lot of people died. So, yeah, that's the kind of stories that I write. Not always. I mean, I write death as humor, but I also write stuff that's not just plain death as humor. Even though one of my favorite characters and my one science fiction epic that I wrote, just, you know, he doesn't bother trying to eat in the cafeteria. He just eats other students. So, thumbs up. I got a good bit of laughter in my creative writing class when that one character was like pulling the strings of meat out from between their teeth while talking in a conversation. So, yeah. Past that, though, just trying to survive, trying to think of things that I can do to make money, to not die, or, you know, just plain become homeless. That would suck really, really bad. So, just still working. I mean, gotta do what I gotta do, and life is life. And again, sorry for just being so tired. But I have opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. Unlike yesterday when I got so lost, I did like 35 people. So, if I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker. We're just not good at that sort of thing. There's a range, because even though I count in 20 to 25 in American Sign Language, I still get lost. And I'm not reading the comments right now. I'm going to read them later. Right now, I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. The hand gestures mean absolutely nothing. I largely do them just because, especially with this hand, because it was paralyzed, it just, moving feels good. You get nerve impulses and your brain loves information. Your body likes moving. When I put my hands into positions, the tension on my muscles feels nice. So I do that. And I think I've got a ton of Italian in my DNA because I talk with my hands, and I am absolutely claustrophobic, so if I ever get handcuffed, I am going to lose my mind. Now to the comments. Or at least my saying hello and thank you for the comments. Ryan S., greatly appreciated. Voody, thumbs up and thank you. Garmani, greatly appreciated. Kathy Kitscat, good to see you in the comments. Josh Sanabria, I think I've heard of your name before. And Jellyfish Jesus, greatly appreciated. Underscore Cherry, thumbs up and thank you. Amster Policeman, thumbs up. Nonconformative Proof, I like that name, very cool. Batman the Redeemer, I like that. Kashmir S2K, thumbs up and thank you. Omar Ahmed, greatly appreciated. Mr. C. Spen, thumbs up. Andy XP, greatly appreciated. Javon Brown, I sure hope I'm close, but I bet I'm not. And we have Dark Equation, thumbs up and thank you. Carrie Allen, is that? Yes. I need glasses, something desperately. Then we have a L1 Piff Nerd with the exclamation point, thumbs up and thank you. And we have Fallacious, thumbs up and thank you. Jacob Peters, greatly appreciated. FR Gast, thumbs up. Confused Owl, hello. Pandora NYC1, thumbs up. And Gabriel Harris, greatly appreciated. And last but not least, Creeper Bell 374, greatly appreciated each and every one of you. And I guess today Creeper Bell 374 is doing a live stream, or has, so if you wanted to check that out, give it a shot, definitely a thumbs up. And of course, I have forgotten what I was going to say, so we'll go with this instead. If you could check out my various links, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, NearlySeniorCitizen.com. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. But if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I do take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest, so thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. Another definite thumbs up. And of course, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be very cool, greatly appreciated. I would understand if you did not wish to, but if you are down with it, I will do my very best to keep you entertained from now until the last particle in the universe finally fades away and there is nothing left but the sheer vacuum and time. Then, and only then, will we think about dissolving the subscriber list. It's really weird. We have no idea what time is. I like watching science stuff because I like science and thinking, and really we don't know what time is. We don't understand if even its basics. We know it flows. We know you can't affect the past, and we don't know what the future is, and now is all a constant moving now, but there's no even real definite thinking and full understanding. Like there's a train of thought where if something doesn't change, there is no time, only when things change. So if you could have a place in the universe where things don't change, there's no time. And then others where there's a train of thought, and this one's fascinating, since in a state of entropy, all states will eventually happen. Eventually, at some point, like if you have 20 ping pong balls, and if they're bouncing randomly, eventually you'll have 20 of them over here and 0 of them over here. What are the odds of that? Extremely low. Might take trillions of years, but eventually it will happen, which means you'll have these odd low entropy points, which means if that happens, it can happen and will happen eventually, where there's a low entropy point where time reverses? Very weird. Anyway, I've got this video, in case you didn't notice. I got another video to edit and render, another one to record, edit and render. This is really itchy, like there's something crawling on me. So you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing. Thank you so very much for coming to watch me as I ramble. It's just random stuff off the top of my head so that my brain works properly, and it is appreciated to no end. Thank you very, very much.